Welcome to Business Prowess with Raphael and Juanita. Welcome to Business Prowess with Raphael and Juanita. Our show will bring you the best insights, ideas, and inspiration from successful entrepreneurs and CEOs in the business world. We'll talk to experts and business leaders. Don't miss out on the opportunity to learn from the best and stay ahead of the game. Sifu Raphael is the founder of 5 Unique Shows. He's a fitness professional, solutions expert, executive coach, and head instructor at Max Martial Arts and Fitness in New York. Juanita Cap is a public speaker who was in the ministry for 15 years. She has extensive knowledge of various topics such as leadership and communication, and has emceed many executive and academic events. Juanita is the founder of 2 Unique Shows. Her life motto is never give up.
Juanita, how are you, my friend?
Good morning, Sifu. I am always doing well when I get to engage with you. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
Exceptional. Getting better every day. Every day.
Amen.
Yes. So today I'm very excited about the topic we have for business, and we're talking about business scheduling.
Yes.
How important is that to you for your business? You are traveling, you are out here in the US. You came all the way from South Africa, and it's not a small feat. So you had to plan every detail. We want to talk about that planning, and even planning an event, planning a breakfast, planning a lunch, planning a dinner for business executives, for people who are doing so much with their lives, right?
Yes.
Go for it.
Absolutely. It's imperative. It's imperative. You know, as entrepreneurs, I believe that we love what we do and we are passionate about what we do. As business owners, it's amazing. But if we don't look after this one small detail, it can become a nightmare. And things can go wrong very quickly if you don't
Oh,
schedule
yes.
correctly.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. So things can go wrong.
Yes.
So a lot of people freak out
Yeah.
when things go wrong. But listen, I've always said you can't cry over spilt milk. Just get a cat to come lick it up.
Yeah.
But somebody else said to me, wait, milk is not good for cats. I said,
Oh.
oh, that's interesting. Milk is not good for adults either, for humans, right? Mother's milk is the only thing that's good for us, right? For children.
Yeah.
But when we think about the opportunity to come out on top, even when adversity shows up in business, there's always opportunity, even when it doesn't go our way,
Mhm.
right?
That's true. That's true. You know what I've learned? I've learned to be adaptable. I agree with everything that you've said. I actually have a few cats because I rescue them and then I nurture them back to health and I always give them milk. I actually don't know it's not good for them, although they love it.
Yes,
But,
of course.
you know, we have to be adaptable. And there's always a silver lining on that dark cloud. And that's where I get to a point where I realize that God is ultimately in control of my schedule and my life. And if things go wrong, it's always for a reason and for a purpose. And something good always transpires out of it. So we have to have a positive mindset. We do our best. And, you know, the day will take its course. And we try to run our day and not let our day run us. But at some point in time, there will be situations that are out of your control. And then you and I and every other entrepreneur, what are we supposed to be doing? We should be adaptable and we should make, I'd say, lemonade from lemons. And that's how we survive. And that's how we get through the grit and the grind of you know, just scaling and going forward. Yay.
What?
I love
That's
that.
I love that. Going forward,
Yeah.
how important is it when we set something up? You know, we set up an appointment even, right? So that's scheduling. That's business scheduling, because some appointments we need to cancel because they do not fortify our goal.
Yeah.
They do not, the sequence is off. For example, I had to cancel an appointment with someone who didn't do their part. They didn't do what they were supposed to. So I said, you know what? They're not gonna be ready. It's
Mm.
gonna be last minute and
Mm.
they may not show up. So
Yeah.
what do I have to do? I have to do what's right.
Mm.
So I canceled and I say, hey, listen, here's the thing.
Mm.
It doesn't seem like this is the right time for you.
Mm.
Do me a favor. When you are ready, reach out and we can reschedule.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best I
That's
can do, right?
wonderful. Yeah, it's a wonderful way to approach it because you treated the person, with that level of dignity, but also they learn a lesson from this because, as entrepreneurs, we have to look after our time management, we look after our delegation, and we don't have time to waste. And if it's not the right fit, because I always tell people it's not always the right fit, or maybe it's not the right time, like you've mentioned. It's not the end of the world. It's not a forever no. It's just a maybe later. But
Mm,
we have to be very straightforward with people. In the ministry, I always told people we have this saying amongst the pastors, Shifu, that, you want to be everywhere, but you can't be the bride at every wedding and the corpse at every funeral. So
right,
sometimes
right, right.
something doesn't work out or it's not in your best interest, you just have to cancel. That also happens.
Mm, definitely. So let's talk about the journey that you just took. And that was a lot of planning. You don't just say, yeah, I'm going. No, that there's a lot of things that happen. And this was a trip and you do such a great way of showing up, even though you went through all of this headache, if you will,
Yeah.
to show up. But you show up, you got a smile on your face, and you don't take the negativity from the occurrences that went on, right? From the things that were totally out of your control, right?
Yeah.
So take us on a quick journey,
Yeah.
not as long as your trip, but a quick journey as to as to how you started planning. When did you plan? How long ago did you make these plans? When did you first? So here's the thing, right? First, you got to find out about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to start saying, can I do it?
Yes.
Does it make sense? And then the planning truly starts, right? So there's so many steps that we have to take as a business owner, right?
Yes. And we have to think systematically. It's like a plan that rolls out. It's like dominoes that have to fall into place. So I went to a boot camp in New Jersey in January that I emceed. And during that event, they asked me to be a speaker at the event that I'm going to speak at
Mm,
tomorrow. So
mm,
immediately as I was in New Jersey, I started making my plans. I had a conference scheduled for this exact weekend online. And I thought to myself, let me move or reschedule that conference. So I moved it to April and I started booking my flights. I'm a member of the Holiday Inn. I made sure that all of the details are in order. I already booked a Holiday Inn here in St. Louis. I went home. I booked my flights. In the interim, I've had to change some of my flights, which I did because my traveling plans were extended. And then, just as I was about to leave on Monday, I heard the Friday before that they were going to go into a national lockdown in South Africa. So there was a political party
mm.
that closed all the roads on Monday. So I literally would not have been able to leave my town to go to the
Wow.
airport on Monday morning. Because normally that's what I do. Someone drops me off and then they take my vehicle home. So I had to adapt my plans. I got in the vehicle on the Sunday afternoon, drove through to East London, stayed over with friends, and they dropped me off on the Monday morning. So that in itself, was a way for me to get out of town and not miss my flights.
Mm,
Then I flew to Johannesburg, waited there, flew to Frankfurt. From Frankfurt on our plane to New York. Unfortunately, we were in the plane, the flight was delayed by an hour. And I had a short period between landing in New York and getting onto the plane in St. Louis. So I
Mm.
was late. And then we ended there. I had to collect my baggage, ran from terminal. Everybody that knows Newark, it's far. Terminal B is very far from Terminal C.
Yeah.
As it was, the universe willed it for a wonderful gentleman to sit next to me, Aram. He knew exactly what to do. He grabbed one of my suitcases because I brought two big suitcases in a backpack. We rushed from Terminal B to C on the air train, and just as my flight was boarding, he was running to his gate, C87. I was at C83. We had to run for 83 gates. It was an adventure. Just as I walked in, they were boarding the plane, and I remember him turning around and saying, Juanita, tonight you're going to sleep like a baby. And I want to tell Aram, if he's watching, I didn't wait until that evening. I slept on the plane to St. Louis because that was just exhausting. So, yeah, we have to be adaptable.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, one of the things, it cracks me up when everybody says sleep like a baby,
yeah,
because you don't really want to sleep like a baby. They
no.
wake up every 2 hours
Yes.
hungry or pooped, right? So think about that. Anybody who's had a baby, you know, when a baby goes to sleep in 2 hours, they're going to be up, they're going to be
Yeah,
crying,
yeah,
and then you have to spend 2 hours putting them back to sleep, and then they go up. So you don't want to sleep like a baby
no.
because it's miserable. But
Yes.
when you get a baby to learn the flow of sleeping,
Mm, yeah.
man, that's beautiful.
That is. I was thinking as you were talking about the 2 hour, gaps that they have. They have this new thing out there, intermittent fasting. I'm sure you've seen it online for health purposes. I want to say babies do intermittent sleeping because they do. They sleep 2 hours, then they're awake for two. So no, I didn't want to sleep like a baby, but I slept those hours. I think it was about 2 hours from New York to St. Louis. I was out. I even sat onto the next seat because the seat next to me was open. I lay on my back there. I wonder what the people were thinking, and I was just out.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I've done in the past, especially when I flew, when we still had to wear masks on the plane and all that,
Yeah.
I would put on my mask, but then I would put on eye mask too. So I was
Oh,
covered
oh,
entirely.
lovely.
And it was just, I didn't sleep though.
Yeah.
I just, you know what? I had
You
my mask
rested.
on. I had to stay that way, but I put it on. I was meditating,
Oh, that's
and
good.
I was just thinking about, I was going to a conference. I was going to be doing some speaking. So while I was in this state of I guess aloneness, right? Even
Yeah,
though I was in a plane
that's the
full of
best.
300 and somewhat people, I was by myself
Oh, that's
because
the
I had my ear canceling headphones. I looked like this creature, if you will. I had my ear canceling headphones. I had my face mask, my mouth mask,
yeah.
and it was beautiful because in my mind, I was speaking.
Mm,
I was doing my speech. And then while I was doing that, I finished that. And then I said, well, I'm going to plan my next speech, my next event. And so
yeah,
I went through that process. So
yeah.
in that, it was a 6 hour flight. So in that 6 hours, I think I went through six, maybe I did an hour about per speech. So I did
Oh,
about six speeches,
yeah.
and so I practiced them and I went through it in my mind so that when I do deliver it, it's fresh and it flows, right? So
Love it. I
yeah,
love it. And you're a salted speaker. And I want to touch on a point that you've mentioned. When you get to the level where you are Sifu, where, we've done a lot of public speaking before, we don't do the notes anymore. It's
no.
all in here because it comes from experience.
Hmm.
So our minds kind of put it in sequence already, those touch points, and then you just flow from there. I know exactly what you mean. It's lovely to see your methodology, and it
Mm.
shows that you are a salted public speaker that knows, the content that you're going to be presenting on. So that's phenomenal.
It has to come from within,
Yeah.
you know, uh, because I teach public speaking to children,
Wow.
which I wish I would have been part of that when I was a child, right? You too, right?
Yes.
So I have 8-year-olds learning how to do speeches.
Wow.
I'm teaching them how to be a storyteller, how to engage the audience, how to even tell jokes, right? So
Awesome.
the kids are starting to understand it. And every time, but here's the cool thing, I have them judge each other.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
Feedback.
then they'll say, well, this one left that one out, or this one didn't do that. Their hands were moving too much. They were nervous. I saw they were nervous. And so the more they do it, the better they will be. But what
Yes.
happens is, even if they never get on a stage,
Mm, mm.
their public speaking with me will teach them how to apply for a job better.
Yes.
They will
Intervene.
teach them how to be a role model to someone else. So they're learning these amazing qualities of communication.
Is so important, invaluable.
Hmm.
Because communication, I mean, it's paramount in any person's life. And you're really teaching them life skills, whether they're going to use it professionally for public speaking
Right.
or in general to fit into society and to, go up in the ranks or go up the ladder in the corporate world. It's very, very important. I think the school should focus more on those aspects. I don't think they always teach the children to communicate effectively because there's a
Mm.
difference. Everybody can communicate, but can you communicate effectively or can you connect? That's the next step, is connecting. So you are doing a great job with that, and it's very necessary that we engage in these activities with the youngsters.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm actually in the works of creating a almost like an academy for public speaking for the youth. So that's something that I am looking at. I'm actually looking to have a studio built to
Oh,
have them come
yeah,
and engage in a weekend workshop, or if they live nearby, to be able to come several times a week, because it will teach them, even when they have to present in
mm,
front of their school, they have to present their projects, they
yeah.
have to present a book they read or something like that. But it also allows them to be able to be more comprehensive when they ask questions in class.
Mm, absolutely, absolutely. That's community upliftment right there.
Hmm.
That is community upliftment, and everybody should be doing something similar, because school is one thing, but after school, what are we using to edify? And martial arts is one of the things I always say, it should be a school subject. And I
Mm.
believe that what you are employing here with your academy, that should be incorporated even into extracurricular activities, because we have to teach them these life skills. We have to uplift the community. Not all the children have accommodating parents. Not
No.
all children go home to parents that sit around a table with them, have dinner with them, ask them about their day. So sometimes their level of communication is underdeveloped. And I believe your project is going to help greatly in the community with sharpening those skills.
Yeah. So that's public speaking, but I know that's not what we were going to be talking about today. But let's move on. Ready?
I'm ready.
So we're going back to, and it's kind of cool that we can talk about different things, but
Yes.
I really want to touch upon the scheduling, right?
Mm,
Business scheduling, because
yes.
you were talking about how you had to replan something else, and you
Yes.
changed the date from this weekend to April. So you
Yes.
moved it because you were the facilitator, right?
That's it.
So it was easy enough for you to do. But sometimes
Yeah.
we are on someone else's schedule
Mm,
for our
mm,
business, correct? Let's
yeah.
talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Because right now, even though you're in St. Louis, it's not your schedule, even though you think it is.
True. True, true. I have to say, I wasn't aware of the fact that there was a time change last weekend.
Mm,
So on Monday, before last Monday, I missed a meeting because I still thought I was 7 hours ahead.
mm,
And that taught me a lesson. It taught me that although I assumed, because I was going through another time change in January when I was here, I assumed there's every few, like 6 or 12 months, there's a time change. It taught me not to assume that something is true, but to research it. And now I'm in CST time, so I'm constantly googling what time is it, what is CST time now, what time is Pacific time now, just to figure out,
Hmm.
what time in South Africa do my meetings start. And yes,
Yes.
we are on other people's schedules. I believe a very important part of our success is that we have to honor other people's and other entrepreneurs and business owners' schedules, because we have to respect it. We have to build relationship, and people, if you have a knack, I missed a meeting, but everyone in attendance knew it's not like me to miss the meeting, but that's because I always make sure I'm on time and I'm there, and that's through relationship building. So take care as a business owner and entrepreneur. For the audience members out there, remember to respect other business owners schedules, because it builds relationship, it solidifies those ties, and it makes you more likely to be selected for future projects or future collaborations if they know they can count on you.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. We did say that you moved your event to April, so I'd
I did.
love to share this with everybody. I love it. April 28th through the 30th, the Captor event.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your event, and you're doing it with Alejandro, right?
Yes.
What great content I know that's going to come out of that event.
Thank you so much. Yes, we formed the Culture Connection last year. We met through the CLA. And then Alejandro stopped during the virtual coffee that we had and said, Juanita, there's so many synchronicities here. We have to start something. So I went home and I created a business plan, and I thought to myself, I'm Cup and he's Tornado. And it's a connection from Georgia to South Africa. My goodness, that's something special. And I created the Cup Tour connection because it's a connection. And I
Mhm.
laid the business plan out to Alejandro. And my slogan was, we are capturing your heart. That was for the first conference. And he
Mm.
started laughing. And I said, what are you laughing about? I think it's a phenomenal name because it's something new. And he couldn't stop laughing. And when he had a chance to stop, he said to me, Captor, because I'm from Africa, Captor sounds like raptor. And I'm talking about capturing your heart. So it
Right.
sounds like, it's a raptor from Jurassic Park that wants to catch people. And we thought, let's make the logo the dinosaur. But really what we do, that's just for fun.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
to make it interesting. We do leadership development, and we have various topics that we talk about. This conference slogan is Elevate You. And we're going to talk about things like personal and professional discipline, a personal empowerment, the art of delegation, scaling your business. A
Mm.
lot of beautiful content coming from there. We have 18 international speakers. It's going to be for 3 days, and we have 6 explosive topics, and all of that only for $97. I think that's a good conference to attend online.
Oh, yeah. That's a great conference to attend online. So, 3 days, 18 speakers,
Yes.
engaging, engaging, engaging. But right there, I'm thinking scheduling.
Yes.
Every speaker has to be scheduled. And here's the thing, you said international. So every speaker needs to know the time they go on. One of the things that I do is I send a calendar, not only scheduler, but I send them a time zone so they
Wow.
can click on their time zone and see if it makes sense for them to be on at that time. Do you do the same?
I actually communicate with them one on one, because there are different. Actually, most of the people that are in the conferences were on Meticulous Moments on my podcast, so
Ah,
I talk to them like weekly. But the time zone is very important, because sometimes, with the advertisements that I send out, I make sure to note that it's Eastern Standard, and then I write for them in a block. I'd say, I am 6 hours or 7 hours ahead, or CST differs in that way. And I also, what I do is I formulate a messenger group, And then I put all the speakers on there and the program with this time slots so that everybody is updated all the time. So we are having lovely conversations on our group already. It's a month away, but we are already connecting and gelling, because I find that by the time we have the conference, I did this in the previous conference as well, there are so many wonderful relationships that have already been formed. It just flows. Everybody's excited. The speakers know each other. They support each other. And it's a wonderful experience. I wouldn't just call it a conference per se as online as I advertise it. I'd rather say it's an experience, because that's what happened the last time when we had the conference. It was just phenomenal. It was just amazing.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, that's great. So, wow. So somebody has to say yes, right?
Yeah.
So they had to say no to something else in order to say yes to you. And so when we think about bringing, excuse me one second, I'm just so excited. I think I have to cough. So just the thought of it, because you had to get 18 people to put it in their schedule, their busy schedule. So that's a lot of going back and forth. That's a lot of communication. There's so much that people don't understand that has to go into an event. The communication has to be extremely apparent. It has to be clear what's happening, when it's happening, who's on first, who's on second. If you ever remember the Abbott and Costello comedy routine of who's on first, who's on second, who's on third. Wait a minute, it wasn't who's on third, what's on, no. So, it was so interesting to even watch that. And if anybody here doesn't know what I'm talking about, Google or YouTube, Abbott and Costello, who's on first. Because that is huge when it comes to planning, right?
Yes. Absolutely true. And it's so interesting to see the level of excitement when people are invited. If they are familiar with you and your brand, it is a pleasant experience to get them on board, because they bring that energy, they bring that excitement, and people don't realize the scheduling and the detail and the rollout actions that go on behind the scenes. Even if it's an online event, there's a lot to calculate into the equation. There's a lot that has to happen at certain times and certain days, and it's wonderful to work with high caliber individuals. It's wonderful to work with other people that take their scheduling serious, that take their business serious, and that really want to also, because this is also part of community, that also want to make an impact. That really grabs their passion, it grabs their attention, and they are on board and they are there. If they need to share something and advertise it, they are there because they see the vision.
Talking about vision, can I share what I'm doing? Would that be
Yes,
okay with you?
please, please.
All right, let's talk about Heroes Rising. Let me show you this clip if you don't mind.
Heroes Rising Apex is the highly anticipated business event of the year. This gathering of industry leaders, entrepreneurs, authors, and visionaries promises to be a game-changing experience that will inspire, educate, and provide networking opportunities. Get ready to immerse yourself in a world of innovation, strategy, and collaboration as we embark on an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and success. Join us in New York on July 14th through the 16th. Go to heroesrisingapex.com for tickets.
That's
July.
a beautiful video.
Oh, thank you. July. So, one of the things that Jose and I are doing, obviously we're planning it together. I got to be honest, this has been my baby for a while, and it wasn't the right time. But when I spoke to Jose and I said, Jose, I'm doing this. He's like, tell me more. And then he came on board. And then, so one of the things that we're doing is constantly every week we have a meeting of how we're doing this, when are we doing this.
Yeah.
So right now we're looking for speakers, obviously speakers who are high caliber, because
Yeah.
we are having people like, I know, Juanita, you're coming to New York for that, and we're excited to have you. But we're looking for, if somebody is going to make the trip,
Mm.
we want them to say
Yeah.
the trip was worth it.
Yes.
If they come in and go, man, I should have stayed home, then it's not worth the trip, right?
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that everybody who's going to be a speaker is high level. They are bringing something forth. So one of the things that we're also going to be including is we're going to have a book for people to write, a blank book for people to write in. We are looking for sponsors, so they can put that in this blank book. They can put their advertisement in it. They can put their flyer. We're looking for different ways to help business grow. So whether
Mm.
you're an entrepreneur, you've been doing this for 20 years, you never know the connection that you can make, and you can even start a new business. If you're just starting out in business, why wouldn't you want to connect with people who are already in business and
Yes.
know what to do? You may have questions. Come, find answers. So this is why I realized, Juanita,
Yeah.
that I have a role.
Mm.
My role is the bridge. I
Mm.
am the bridge to connecting people from one place to the other. And this is why I started Heroes Rising. And then now we got Heroes Rising Apex. And we do have the website so people can go to it. They can sign up. They can become a speaker. They can do a sponsorship. They can do whatever it is they want to do.
Yeah.
But you have to plan
Mm.
to succeed,
Yes.
right? So planning, planning, planning. So let's talk about planning an event that's very small.
Mm.
Let's say you just take maybe your business partner out
Mm.
to lunch or
Yes.
breakfast, or you take your staff, you take 10 people, 20 people, more of an intimate setting. How important is that, and how often should we be doing that?
Absolutely. I love that question. I want to say I love the concept of Heroes Rising Apex. That's why I'm going to be there in July. I really am excited to join and network because you are a phenomenal bridge and a wonderful communicator. So, getting together with our business partners and our core group, we have these
Mm,
people that are sometimes it's three, sometimes it's five, it differs for everyone, but we sometimes I think most of the business men and women that I know and entrepreneurs have their core group. The
mm,
people that they can go to, the people that they can keep it real with, that they can discuss the tough topics with. Very important to connect regularly. I love constant communication. Even over communication is good for me because
mm,
I love knowing all the little details. That's why I called my podcast Meticulous because I love to be meticulous about things. I love the detail. We
mm,
have to engage with people and grow with them. And when we spend time with our core group, that is really when we get to the tough subjects, the tough questions, where we get to support and uplift each other. It's very important that we have people that lift our hands high, and other people we do the same for them.
mm.
It's not a monotonous action. It is a two-way street. So
Right.
planning small meetings are just as important as planning big ones. And for me, the technical side of it always go back to the basics, whether I'm doing a small event just for my inner circle, my inner group, whether I'm planning a big event in the ministry don't even know how many events I did, big events, but I always go back to the basics. I always start with the basics because that's my foundation. So then we build from there. Constant communication, edifying communication, get those people that are close to you that you can trust because you need them. We need each other. There's a reason why they say no man is an island. Sometimes the cloak of leadership, sometimes that accountability that we have to wear, that becomes heavy. And that's
Mm.
we need people to hold our hands high.
Yeah, without a doubt. Because if a person is an island, there's sharks right there. They're coming for
Exactly.
you.
They're there and they're hungry.
Yes. So, one of the things for me is always thinking outside the box a little bit,
Mhm.
because we can have a meeting
Yeah.
with even our partner, right?
Yes.
But if we're doing it in our business setting, we're only focused this way.
Mm.
Sometimes we got to go narrow or we got to go wide. So
Yeah.
sometimes going to a restaurant, going out, even going bowling, going to go play
Yeah.
pool outside of the comfort zone. That's why a lot of businesses are done on the golf course, on the tennis courts, out
Yes.
at a restaurant, at a bar, where people are just more relaxed and can actually, ideas can flow, creativity comes through. When we're in nature, I think that's a great walk. A walk, when you think about, I meant to say a great walk and work, because it allows the breath to be bigger, fuller.
Mm.
So when you're inside, you're behind closed doors. You don't feel the world, right? But in order to be more creative, sometimes take your team out on a nature walk, because all of a sudden it just, everything opens up. And if you can take your shoes off and walk on
Oh,
the
love.
grass or on sand, go to the beach with your team and just feel the beauty, feel the abundance. Because on a beach, you're not stepping on one little sand,
Mm.
one grain of sand. You're stepping on millions of
Yes.
pieces of sand, if you will. So there you can understand the abundance and how far you can take your company. Because if you're limited to that little space, that office, that's limiting. So when we can take a business talk
Mm.
with either our team, our partner, our partners,
Yes.
to do an adventure, just to go out and just relax. Maybe do it on a Friday, or maybe do it
Mm.
when it's not as busy. Maybe take 3 hours. Maybe do a whole day event, or take your team for the weekend.
Yes.
Now, if it's your team, you cover the costs.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
shows them the value you have in them. If you nickel and dime them, say, hey, we're going to go on a business trip, but you have to pay, like, what kind of business trip is that? Is it, but even though it's going to benefit them, of course it's going to
Yeah.
benefit them. But if you can foot the bill, do it. And if you cannot foot the bill because maybe it's too expensive, then go on a journey nearby. Go to the forest, go to the beach, go to the
Yes.
park, and say, hey guys, we're gonna have a picnic. You can sponsor a picnic. Maybe it'll
Of
cost
course.
you $200-300. That's not a lot of money to bring people together and truly even plan
Yeah.
your event, plan the next big thing, or even plan on what your business is going to do in the next year, the next month, the next quarter. So we're getting to that part where people are closing up the quarter, right? So
Yes.
now what are we doing for the next quarter? What
Mm.
are we doing for the third quarter? What are we doing for the final quarter? Every day we should be thinking ahead, but we need to do it strategically.
I agree. I agree. And taking your team on a weekend and paying for it is an investment into your business.
Mm-hmm.
It's an investment to your long term success. It's all about the energy, it's all about the excitement. I love to create excitement and I love to tell, my staff what's next, what's our new project. And I always joke. I joke with them and I call them silly names and we have fun together
Right.
because life is beautiful and it can be fun. We can enjoy working together if we create that right environment. So
Mhm.
what I do is I take them out for the day to a close by a game reserve, and we go out and we swim and we do a barbecue. In South Africa we call it a braai. We
Mm.
hop on the truck, there we go, and we have fun, and we come back tired and exhausted, but we were playing in the water, and we went for a hike, and we were chasing the little rabbits. And it's always fun to be with your team if you have that same mindset, if you know
Mhm.
what you're working towards. And it's an investment, like you said. It's not wasting that money, it's investing into them, keeping that energy, that drive alive. And so when new projects come their way, they'll be more inclined to give their best, to go the further, the extra mile, because they realize that they are valued and they are
Yeah.
accommodated and they are important. We work with people. We don't work with things. And when we deal with people in the right manner, genuinely and with integrity, they are on our side forever. They will be loyal in every aspect. Yeah,
Without a doubt. You know, it's that connection, right?
yeah,
That deep connection with your team. Because when you do things like this, it creates that unity that, you know what? I'm going to do more for my company because they took care of me.
yeah,
They care about me. They care about my opinion. So that's where the free flow happens,
yeah.
right? Free flow of ideas, concepts, and even people can say, hey, you know what? I don't like this about that particular thing that we do with the company. I
Yes,
don't like it. And it's where you have to give them the freedom
yeah,
to openly speak without being reprimanded or being called out for or being fired even, right?
yeah.
So that's huge when you ask
Yeah.
people to be honest, but you're not willing to take their truth,
Yeah,
right?
we have
So
to be open. We have to be open. When they sense that, when they are comfortable, that's when the creative juices start to flow. Because there's nothing like this rigid routine that stifles progress and innovation. We don't want people to sit on a Sunday night and ponder, oh no, tomorrow morning is Monday morning, it's staff meeting, they want to run away. We don't want that. We
mm,
want them to say, oh, I have this wonderful idea. I can't wait for Juanita to hear it. She's going to be so excited because she values my opinion. I want to go to the meeting. I want to get this done. That's what we want, like you mentioned. It's all about that energy and creating that safe space.
yeah. I think another time you and I will have to talk about business
Yes.
meetings,
Yes.
actual business meetings, and what to do and what not to do,
Yes.
and the best practices, if you will. So we will definitely get deeper into how to even hold the business meeting
Yes. Very
and
important.
and who needs to be there.
Yeah.
Because not everybody needs to be there.
No, not all the time.
Not all
That's
the
a
time.
wonderful idea, Sifu. Thank you. I'm looking forward to that discussion.
It's going to be fun. Well, you know, I think you and I have this idea that we are here. We've created this business prowess program
Yes.
to inspire people to do better business, to help more people, to inspire the world, to
Amen.
inspire change. Can't stay the same, can we?
We can never stay the same. And the best part of it all is that when we evolve, when we change, and when we adapt, we reach our goals and we follow our destiny. And that is amazing because then we are happy and we're elated. And then suddenly we see that silver lining around that dark cloud that we were speaking about earlier today. And
Mhm.
it's an adventure. The universe has an adventure for us. So sign up for that adventure and be open minded. Like Sifu said, no more boxes. Kick away the boxes, open your mind, and watch and see if you really, really put your interest and your focus and your hard work into something. There's fruit in all labor. There's fruit in all labor. You'll see the dividends.
Without a doubt. You know, one of the things I think that before we go, we need to
Yes.
let people know that they need to schedule
Yeah.
themselves
Mm.
for opportunities,
Yes.
right? So, can I share your video again? I think that they need to come to your event first and then my event second, right? Because if they plan it correctly,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shoot them into this. Here we go. Boom.
Love it.
Coming through. You have to have tunnel vision sometimes because oh, look at that.
And music, tunnel
Tunnel
vision
vision.
music.
We got good music coming
Woo!
up. What? We're gonna
I
have
love
fun.
it, by the way.
So tunnel vision
Yeah.
to prosper. Tunnel vision to understand that sometimes you have to be in a room, closed up to create because maybe the outside world is too much, but you do need that tunnel vision.
Yes.
But then you also need to go out in the world and
Mm.
see the possibilities that are there. So you need both.
Yes,
You need
balance
both,
them. Yeah.
right? You need that balance. So let me
Love.
share your video again. I want people to come and join you. Beautiful, beautiful. And then
Thank
once they finish there, they can plan to
you.
come to New York.
I'm gonna
The
be there
first one that
too.
you're doing is going to be virtual.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You don't have to, you can plan on staying home in your PJs, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or even if you're at work, you can maybe get a
Listen.
bunch of your people for your business and make it a together thing and say, let's go to the Captor event as a team, right, Juanita?
Wonderful idea.
Isn't
I
that a
love
wonderful
that
idea?
idea. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I never thought of it that way. Thank you, Sifu. That's a wonderful idea.
That's why I'm here.
You
I'm here.
see?
I'm here to facilitate better business. This is why
Love
we're
it.
here. After they do that event, and they've been enriched and they listen from 18 amazing speakers, then they go, okay, great connection. Now we need to go and see, because I hope that some of your speakers come to my thing and start
Yes.
speaking there, because it would be a live thing in person. It's going to
Love
be awesome. So here we go. Take a look.
Heroes Rising Apex is the highly anticipated business event of the year. This gathering of industry leaders, entrepreneurs, authors, and visionaries promises to be a game-changing experience that will inspire, educate, and provide networking opportunities. Get ready to immerse yourself in a world of innovation, strategy, and collaboration as we embark on an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and success. Join us in New York on July 14th through the 16th. Go to heroesrisingapex.com for tickets.
Two
Beautiful.
great events. Two great events. So I just want to leave everybody, and Juanita, you can share whatever you want to leave with everybody.
Yeah.
It's that be inspired every day. Remember why you started your business. Remember why you're in business. And if it doesn't feel right, you're in the wrong business,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Be
I love it.
inspired every day.
Be inspired every day. I agree, Sifu. So true. Just in short, yesterday I was suffering from a little bit of jet lag. It wasn't jet lag, it was jet lag. It was like I was so tired. And lag. And the responsibilities don't end when you're a business owner, but you get back up again. I don't know, for those of you out there who have children that have watched Trolls, little Poppy, that little troll, she says, get back up again, no matter what you face. And it's a privilege to be a business owner. It's a privilege to be an entrepreneur. So think of it that way. Although you're tired sometimes, tomorrow is a new day. Get back up again and go at it, because all your hard work will pay off. And I just want to wish Sifu a happy birthday. I know he has his birthday this week. So happy birthday, Sifu. We appreciate you. Keep
Thank you.
shining and keep being the amazing individual that you are. We are blessed to know you.
Thank you. It's incredible that I keep getting younger.
I know, right? I mean, we're never going to grow old.
No, never here, right?
Yes, never.
All right. Thank you, Juanita. Always a pleasure. I look forward to our next Business Prowess event. Everybody have an amazing and exceptional day. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.